Okay, tendencies with the shoulder car. So this is complicated because oftentimes we lose the mobility in the shoulder, and we're gonna try to use our spine, our shoulder blade, or even our arm to try to show this big, beautiful motion, but it's just not there. So I'll show you with Kyle. Actually, let's start facing forward. Okay. So we're gonna come across with this adduction. Oftentimes, the shoulder blade and the spine are gonna want to contribute to this motion. So we just wanna stay up as much as possible, keep everything else solid, and then just move the arm, keeping the elbows straight. This is a part where your elbow might wanna bend. When we get to the top here, you're gonna see the shoulder blade wanna come up sometimes, so we wanna keep that down. He's trying to get closer to his ear, so he's shrugging up, but that's not coming from the shoulder, it's coming from the shoulder blade. Now as we, right here, extension, we might see the spine extend instead of the shoulder. That's very common. Also, the head might come down into a cervical flexion. Now, as we start to wind the bicep down, it's very common to see some rotation here, maybe some wrist twisting, not keeping the wrist nice and neutral. And then as we reverse again with extension, you might see some flexion of the spine or leaning forward. And then as we unwind into extension, we might see rotation back that way. We might see a little bit of, we might start to see the shoulder blades start to shrug up a little bit and then coming back. And Kyle had surgery on this shoulder. Yep. So what were you noticing there?
Just noticing that as a whole, you can definitely find the areas that are limited and explore those more later. One of the things that I would say traditional physical therapy kind of breaks them out into their individual components, and we kind of miss this global range of motion. So I think it makes a lot of sense to actually start there when we're talking about assessing in this regard, because then we can break those down from that bigger component and see the full expression and then have its individual components.
Right, absolutely. And that's part of the reason why we do this, because we have one movement, one exercise that allows us to express the joint's capacity in its fullest, and that allows us to break it down into sections, and then you can do, we'll show you some specific assessments to do for linear pathways that are specific to those areas of the shoulder. It's a big movement, and you want to go slow. You want to explore as much of it as you can in a very slow fashion. And you will notice as we create more workspace in here that that motion gets bigger and some of your tendencies will reduce.